Parents, your teen has FND or functional neurological disorder. And not only that, also dealing with chronic pain, whether that is daily headaches, widespread body pain, or pain that moves around and never fully goes away. You have probably been told these are two completely separate problems by so many doctors, like two separate diagnoses, two separate specialists, two completely separate treatment plans. I dare to ask you, what if that is not correct? What if your teen actually does not have two separate problems? What if they have one nervous system running one pattern and you have been chasing the one thing in two completely different directions? Stay with me because what I am about to share is going to change how you see both. So let's dive in. Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Lee, a pediatric health psychologist and the founder of Teen FND Academy, a coaching program where I help teens with FND and their parents, just like you, get their lives back. So let me start with how common this actually is. A comprehensive review in 2024. In that review, she noted a significant proportion of children and adults with FND report comorbid chronic pain, meaning pain and FND are happening in the same person, and that chronic complex pain shares overlapping neurobiological processes with FND. Let me read that again. Overlapping neurobiological processes. Not two separate conditions with two separate mechanisms. One nervous system with overlapping processes producing both sets of symptoms, like you are having two branches coming from the same tree and a root. That is Kuzlavska's research finding. And my clinical interpretation based on my experience in a clinic, hospital, and a coaching program is this. When a teen has both FND and chronic pain, they are not really dealing with two unrelated diagnoses. They are actually dealing with one nervous system that has learned two different patterns simultaneously, like at the same time, if not more than two. And that changes everything about how you approach recovery, because when parents and teens understand this, it changes everything in terms of their recovery. So, what is actually then happening with chronic pain? Let me walk you through. Apparently, one of the most cited pain scientists in the world has spent decades establishing something that fundamentally changes how we understand chronic pain. And this is something I have learned over so many years ago, and when I applied his principle, I also recovered from chronic pain myself. So it's very close to my heart in terms of this journey of recovery from chronic pain. But on the side note, both Kuzlavska and Mosley are, for whatever reasons, from Australia. Don't ask me why, but what a coincidence. Anyway, back to pain. So according to Mosley, pain is not a direct readout of tissue damage. Pain is produced by the brain as a protective output. It is essentially a warning signal generated by the nervous system when it perceives threat, whether or not the actual tissue damage is present. So, can you have pain with tissue damage? Yes, like you get a paper cut or broken bone. Can you also have pain without tissue damage? Yes, like I didn't do anything, but I have a back pain. Or how about this? Can you actually have tissue damage but no pain? The answer is yes. Like I worked out yesterday and I didn't notice that there was a bruise on my knee, for example. Yes, there was a tissue damage, but I didn't have any pain. But now I see it, I'm like, oh, ew, it's painful. In teens with FND, the nervous system is already in a state of very heightened threat detection mode. So the brain is already running this overactive alarm system. And chronic pain in this context is that same system doing the same thing in a different domain. The alarm is basically going off not because something is structurally broken, but because the nervous system has learned to generate that signal. This is called nociplastic pain. Pain maintained by learned neural circuit, not by structural damage. Now, on my channel, I have a super short animation video explaining the brain and body mechanism and relationships and then how FND starts. So make sure to check that out. But in a nutshell, the brain is basically constantly scanning for a threat using clues like memory, thinking, feeling, and attention. So when you experience pain based on something that happened in the past, then the brain and the body kind of put two and two together and, oh, X caused this pain. Therefore, in the future, something like X happens, or thinking it's about to happen, aka anticipation, then the pain signal needs to be turned on as well. And that is what the learned neural circuit means in a nutshell. So if the brain learns it, the good news is brain can unlearn it and then learn the new thing. That is not false hope or this woo-woo thing. That is neuroscience for real. The Family Guy shares a handful of practical strategies to help you get out of this survival mode, and it shows why our structured approach gets such a strong result. Grab it from the description below. It is free. Now, let me actually share the research behind that. Okay, so it's not just a woo-woo thing or like, oh yeah, I cured from chronicpain.com kind of personal experience, even though personal experience is just as important. So let me walk you through this research. In 2022, Asher Gordon and colleagues published a randomized controlled trial in JAMA Psychiatry. Just a heads up, once again, this study was done on adults with chronic back pain, not teens with FND. But I am sharing this as supporting evidence for the neuroplastic pain framework, the nociplastic pain thing. It's the same thing. Okay, so here is what they found. The participants were divided into 3 different groups. One group received something called pain reprocessing therapy, called PRT, a treatment basically that teaches the patients to understand their pain as a brain-generated warning signal rather than evidence of tissue damage, the same thing as a neuroplastic, nociplastic pain thing. The second group received something called an open-label placebo, meaning, this is really cool, these patients were actually told up front they were receiving a saltwater injection with absolutely no ingredients in it. So that was what they were told. Third group continued their usual care, meaning they didn't get anything else. No PRT, no injection, nothing. So here is a result. 2/3 of the participants who received the group A, the pain reprocessing therapy, aka the PRT group, reported complete or near elimination of their chronic back pain. Now, mind you, these people had a chronic back pain for like the average of 10 plus years. So it's not like that they had a pain for like a month or so, or years and years of debilitating pain. And not only that, brain scans taken before and after the treatment showed actual measurable changes in how the brain processed pain signals. The study is kind of complicated, but I just want to tell you that the improvement was not just something the patient reported feeling like a subjective. It wasn't a subjective thing only. It was also visible in how the brain was actually functioning. So the open label placebo group, the group 2, the people who knew they were basically getting the fake treatment, guess what? Also showed a measurable pain reduction. Not as much as the first one, but the second one was pretty good too, confirming that belief and expectation, talking about anticipation, right, about pain, played a real neurological role. Now, pain reprocessing therapy, the PRT group, outperformed both groups, this open group, like the fake treatment, and then the no treatment, significant, like a big time. So the mechanism for this is one word: neuroplasticity. It's the neuroplastic pain. The brain learned the pain pattern, and with the right conditions, with the right approach, like the PRT pain reprocessing therapy, it actually built a different one for those people who were in this group. Here is what this means specifically for you and your team. Your team is not broken into different places. Their nervous system is running one pattern across multiple symptoms, like FND pain and something else, just like one tree with multiple branches. The FND and chronic pain are literally connected at the root. And this is exactly what I teach inside Teen FND Academy through the Brain Toolkit. Because when we work with families on FND recovery, the chronic pain does not get a separate attention like a completely different thing. We talk about it, but because it does not need a completely separate attention, we work at the level of the nervous system that is generating both, and then oftentimes more than both. So when the nervous system learns to feel safer, when the threat alarm starts to get quiet, both the FND symptoms and the pain respond kind of at the same time. They go hand in hand because they come from the same place, same tree, different branches. So, what can you do right now as a parent? The most important thing I can tell you is this: how you as a parent respond to your teen's pain matters just as much as the pain itself. And that's been proven by so many other studies as well. Another day, okay? But when your teen reports pain, their nervous system is watching you. Their nervous system is basically sensing you. So if your response is anxious, like asking constantly, where's your pain? What's the number? What kind of pain is it? Or rushing to fix it, visibly panicking, or offering medication that you know is not the solution, that response signals to the nervous system of your child that the threat is real and the alarm should stay on continuously. Then the pain amplifies, meaning it gets worse. Not because you caused it, we know that, but because the nervous system is reading the environment for safety cues, and your response with anxiety, panic, worry is not really a safety cue. And that is what I call steady leadership inside the brain kit inside my program, Teen FND Academy. Pause and regulate yourself before you respond. That's the toolkit number 1. Acknowledge your teen's pain calmly and without amplification. You're not dismissing it. You know it's real. You're not telling them it's not real because you know it's real. You are responding in a way that sends this nervous system a completely different signal that the environment is safe, that the threat level can calm down, that the alarm system does not need to stay on. Co-regulation is what it's called, and it's not a soft parenting concept, just so you know. It is literally a neurobiological input. Your regulated nervous system is one of the most powerful tools available to your teen's recovery, and it costs nothing. If you want to see how my full program of Teen FND Academy works and how it's helping families resolve FND for real, then watch the video linked in the description box below. And a lot of parents ask me, what can we do because we feel helpless when our child is struggling with pain, FND, all of the other things? Well, guess what? This is exactly the practical thing you can do today. Now, if you're wondering, okay, I know what to do as a parent, but what about my teen? What can they do to help themselves? Well, I have a step-by-step guide on exactly how to start applying these principles at home, including what your teen can do starting today. It is a free resource called the Teen FND Family Action Plan. And remember, the pain is coming from the same tree of the FND, so it is applicable and it is completely free, and the link is right below in the description box. Go grab it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.